This is the 401k lie that everyone believes. So many financial experts just say, invest in a 401k. It's free money, right? Even experts I love, like the infamous Dave Ramsey, say invest in a 401k as soon as you can. And if you can put up to 15%, that is the best way to go. But what if I told you that doesn't really make sense? Especially if you want to live the American dream, have a house, have a spouse, have a family. You see, while they're not wrong about the 401k, it's a very optimal financial hack to get quote unquote free money and up your investments by a lot. What's the point if you can't even cash it out till you're retired and use it for things like buying assets that grow in value? Not only that, but if you do cash it out before you're retired, you're hit with an extreme tax penalty that could be hard to recover from. Am I against the 401k? Absolutely not. I have one as well. However, I'm not investing 15% of my take-home pay into the 401k when I don't have any assets anyways. You see, I want to use my individual investments to fund things like a house, to fund things that grow in value. And if I put all my investment funds into my 401k, then I will be unable to do that. Instead, this is my advice to fix this. Number one, I'll only invest in the 401k up to my match. So if you work for a company that does a 5% match like my company, I'll only invest up to 5%. The rest of the money left over that I'm able to invest, I'm gonna do it in my own individual brokerage account. You see, I want to use that money grown over time in things like the S&P 500 and really good dividend stocks to pay for my house and put a good down payment on my house that I could eventually pay off the house faster. A house payment is one of the things that absolutely crush Americans in their finances. However, if you can get that burden off your shoulders faster, then you have something that grows in value over time and no debt to worry about. Then, if it's not even your dream house, you have more leftover money to save up, buy another property that you like better, and live in that home while you rent out the other home or sell the other home, making a much bigger profit because you paid off your mortgage faster. One of the biggest things you have to take advantage of in a capitalist market is the way you can acquire assets that actually grow over time. Yes, stocks are one of those things, but real estate is a big portion of that. And if you just neglect it, you can take the hit for it. Just focusing on a 401k and neglecting real estate can have you paying off a house for 30 years or more. While your friends who use methods like these to only use the 401k up to the match and to invest individually by themselves the rest had a higher down payment and they paid off their house in 15 years, allowing more freedom for them to acquire more assets that grow their net worth. So am I against the 401k? Absolutely not. But I think being a smart capitalist requires us to look at all aspects of the market and not follow the 401k or have a one-dimensional mindset and be like sheep. Now, am I saying do you have to spend that individual brokerage account money on a house? No, you can let it sit and grow as well. However, you will not be receiving the match as if you were in a 401k. And you could even spend it on other assets that grow in value, like if you want to start a business or use it to fund education where you can up your income over time. Just to prove how this is the better option, I actually ran some numbers. Using the average salary in the United States of $63,000 about, with the salary increase of 1% a year, this is what the data showed. Situation A, you take the classic American route and you invest everything you have into your 401k up to 15%. Over 40 years, you will have a substantial amount of money. It will be $4,567,000 about. However, you'll have zero to little amount of assets such as homes in your portfolio. Situation B is why I'm making this video. Let's say you just invested up to your match. That'll still give you about $1.6 million in 40 years. If you took the rest of the 10% that you would have invested in the 401k and you saved up in your own individual brokerage account and invested in the S&P 500, you would have about 35 grand in 5 years. You can then use this as a down payment on a house with a value of about $220,000 and a mortgage payment of $1,950, and you could pay it off in approximately 6 years using the 10% of again what you would have invested into that 401k. Now you have the freedom to buy another house, no rental payment whatsoever, or you can go back to investing in your 401k if you really wanted to. Not to mention in 40 years that house may likely grow to 200% of its original value, making it about $1.6 million approximately. Consider you didn't buy that house and invested the rest of that 10% the rest of your life. Those investments would have increased to $3.8 million. So situation B, in 40 years we'll end up with almost $7 million on the dot. You see, this isn't just an opinion, it's a data-backed and mathematically backed formula that not many financial platforms are talking about. This is why it's important to stay up to date with financial information and taking every chance you get to increasing your income and assets that grow in value. If you want to learn more, subscribe to Shinker Financial and you'll do just that. Peace.